So this has become Rusty's new favorite routine, is I'll try to take him out in the morning if I can, let him graze in the good grass here. Either in the morning or in the evening, or sometimes both. It's just a good time for us to spend together. And then I'm able to brush him, because he's not super dirty today, but you can kind of see where he just gets stuff on him when he rolls. So yeah, I try to make this our time together, huh, bud? Alright, so spring has finally sprung. We had kind of a long winter. And now I think it's a good idea to get some plants in pots. I'm going to try and grow some fresh vegetables this year if I can. So I need to gather soil and a manure mix. I'm going to use some of Rusty's excrement and then some soil, and that should make a nice blend to go ahead and start these vegetables off in. So as you can see right here, brushing Rusty is a good thing. We've had kind of a long winter, so you can see he's shedding his winter coat now that we're kind of heading into warmer spring weather. So it's good to just kind of brush him down and get some of the mud off of him, but it also gets some of the winter coat that he's shedding off of him. It seems like it's a good day for a ride, getting out there, so I'm just gonna kind of get everything, get all my tack here ready to go so I can take Rusty out on a ride here. So usually I saddle Rusty in the stall, but today I'm going to do it out here because he wants to graze a little bit. So it'll just be making sure I'll just have to put the bridle on over the halter, but that's okay because then I can go ahead and unsaddle him outside of the stall, and he can be grazing while I'm doing that when we get back. So that's how we're going to do it today. Alright, so generally the reason that you saddle a horse in the stall or a pen or something like that is it's just easier, they don't move around as much. But you should be able to know or be competent and confident in saddling really anywhere at any given time. So we tried going over to the big field today. Rusty's just kind of having a little bit of a day, I think, where he just wants to eat, obviously. So he wasn't listening very good today, but that's okay, because that just means we go to the smaller field and do some work there. So it was a bit of a rainy ride today. We were out there for just a short little bit, came down in kind of troves. So, which is fine. I mean, it's Oregon, you know, you kind of expect that it's going to be raining. I mean, you can hear it on the roof of the barn here. And our friend Rusty here was not having an enjoyable time being out in it. So we came back and did a little lead work just to kind of make sure that he knows that, you know, who's in charge, essentially, or, you know, especially when I'm on his back. So a thing that I do is I go through like the vocal commands. I'll just kind of lead him around going through vocal commands with the clicks and the whoas to get him to stop. And that just kind of reestablishes those commands and solidifies those so that when I'm on his back, he's listening to me. All right, so let's put the tack away here. Close the gates. Just let Rusty there eat. So I was riding Rusty earlier, and he was acting kind of skittish, freaked out. He didn't want to go back to the barn, it seemed. And then I saw some buzzards flying overhead back up in here. So I'm just trekking up here to see if something got killed back here or if something's dead back here, because his nostrils would flare and he would smell and his ears would perk up, and he was very skittish around the barn, which is nearest to the area that I'm going up to right now. This is the first time that I've been back up here by the cabin location since the snowfalls. So not too long, but now that all the snow's gone, you can see where it brought down all these trees over the roads. And then just in general, it kind of wreaked a little bit of havoc back here. All right, so I'm back up here at the cabin location since the first time since I was up here since the snows. And I came back up here because of the possibility of a dead animal. As I was riding Rusty down the field, he was very apprehensive. His ears were constantly attentive over in this area, and I saw buzzards circling. They kind of circle all over here, which is a good indicator of, like, if you've got a dead calf somewhere around or a dead animal. I didn't see anything coming up here. The possibility is that they couldn't get to it because I didn't see any landing, and oftentimes you'll see some swooping in and landing if there is a potentially dead target in the area. So like I said, I just came up the trail. Although I do smell something now that the wind changed. I do smell something dead. Alright, well, I figure while I'm up here, I might as well get something done. So I stashed my little hatchet up here, which looks like it survived. A little rusty, but I'll go ahead and fix that up right quick. But I have this stashed up here so I can kind of just trek up here and then stash it again and work on some stuff. So today I'm gonna see if I can put in some of the beams, which are gonna be give the cabin some of its height and hold everything in place. What I've begun doing here is digging a hole, and that's gonna be on the inside of the wall. And then what I'll go ahead and do is I'll dig another hole on the outside of the wall. Since I'm not planning on using like a chainsaw to notch anything, I still may notch some pieces with an axe, but this will help give it the structure that it needs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pole here and a pole on that side of these logs, and then wedge the logs in between, securing them as I go. So each one will be individually secured to the inside and the outside pole, and then we're just going to build up from there. Alright, so I got up here and I did a little bit of work on the cabin today, but we've been having winter weather blowing in just off and on. Lots of heavy rains, sleet, hail, and it looks like a new front is coming in. That's usually where our weather blows in from, is right over those mountains there. And as you can see, I don't really have any protection quite yet until I get some more structure to this cabin, so I don't want it to kind of come down on me. Oh, here's one of the buzzards that I saw. So the pole's going to go in the hole essentially like this. Of course, it's going to be right at the edge, so that these two are touching, and then that's going to go down several feet, just so we make sure that it's secure going up. They'll go up to the top of the cabin, and that way we can stack these logs, or I can stack these logs on top of each other without it's collapsing because it'll be secured from both sides and each log will be secured. So I'm exploring these trails or trying to find the source of the smell I was smelling earlier, and there are all these trails back here, but then here's some scat too. I mean, it's pellet-like here, so I'm guessing deer. And by the tracks, they definitely look like deer tracks for sure. So deer's been through here, so it makes me wonder if something was hunting them and maybe caught up to one. So I didn't quite beat that front that was coming in to get down from the cabin. It's been doing this all kind of spring here, I guess, where we've been getting sleet and hail like this, and it'll just blow in at any given time. And yeah, I kind of got caught in it. I had a feeling I wasn't going to get down there, but I was doing a little bit of exploring to find the source of that dead smell that I was smelling too. And just between that and doing a little bit of work on the cabin, I kind of got myself caught in this. So this is on me. There's just this bald eagle just sitting up there. Here we are in April, and we just have these cold fronts that keep blowing in. He's managed to pull himself down a bale of hay. These are the pups. That's Duke, and that's his sister Sadie. I think the puppies approve of their little house. Low-lying branches are called widowmakers because they have this tendency of just knocking the rider right off the horse.